Hear me? Well, welcome. Well, I'm going to get started, and if other people hop on, totally fine. But I wanted to go over Emerald training because a lot of a lot of you guys are new. Caitlin, you're already Emerald, but really this applies to going Diamond too. And so for some of the newer coaches, you may not know what that means at all, and that's all good. So I'm going to share my screen with you, hopefully. Desktop. Okay. And for right now, I'm going to mute everybody. But if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments or unmute yourself, and that's totally fine. Let's see here. Okay. Alrighty, so I can figure this out. Okay, so getting to Emerald is important for a few reasons. So that's kind of what I'll be talking about. And once you hit Emerald, really, the rest of your rank advancements, it's just hitting Emerald again and again. And so reasons why you want to hit Emerald, and Emerald is the first of several ranks in the business. And really the first is that it's just kind of like a milestone for you. So, you know, in our company, rank is not everything, but it's showing that you're on the scoreboard. You're for real. Like you're in this more than just a hobby. You're interested in helping people, interested in making some side money. And then it also gives you street cred. So if you hit Emerald, or when you hit Emerald, I'm going to shout you out on my social media, on your social media, and that will just really let people know, like, oh, okay, you know, they've been watching you for a little while. They know you're doing something, but they're just not totally sure maybe of what. And so this really does give you that street cred that people know that you're actually in this. And then you also get a team bonus. Hey, Laura. And so what that means, and I'll go more into that later, but every week you get a team bonus based on how much volume you have. And again, I'll talk about that later, but you don't get that team bonus until you reach Emerald. And once you're Emerald, you're going to get that just extra free money, which who doesn't love that? And I'll go over that more here in a minute. So how rank works. So the first rank we have over here is our active coach, and that's what all of you guys are right now. Active just means that you have in that month 50 point volume or more. So like Shakeology is 90 point volume, Energize is like 33, Recovers 56 or something like that. And so anyway, it's your combination of products. They all come with a point value. So you have to have at least 50 to be active. Once you hit Emerald, you also need to have 50 point volume. But what Emerald means is that you have an active coach on either side of you, okay? And it sounds harder than it really is. Getting to Emerald really should not be too terribly tough. The next is Ruby. And a lot of people skip right over Ruby. I did, because typically you're kind of accumulating coaches and finally someone decides to go Emerald. So a Ruby is when you would have an Emerald coach on both of your legs, which I'll explain to you, and then another coach on each leg. And then to go Diamond, you have 3 coaches and an Emerald on each side. When you're a Ruby, you do need to move up in point volume. And as well as with Diamond, you need to have 100 point volume. But that point volume can come from your own orders and that of your customer. You do need to have 90 point volume yourself for Ruby and Diamond and Emerald to hit Success Club. But if you're just wanting to remain active, you can rely on your other customers' orders. Okay, so I briefly explained the rank, but that really is not everything. So when it comes to making money, volume and the volume of your customers and your coaches is really what matters. And volume accumulates as your customers purchase products, okay? So any challenge pack you sell, any Shakeology you sell, even if they just get bought, even though you're not getting Success Club points, you're still getting their volume, so it's still kind of nice. And so that's all accumulating for you. And over time, that accumulates. And so every week, what Beachbody does is if you're Emerald or above, they run a cycle. And so the way it's set up is you have 2 legs. And if I were to draw, let's see here. If I were to draw on a piece of paper a T, okay, you are right in the middle, and then you have a left leg and a right leg. This is, okay, so it kind of looks like that. You need to be adding people to both of your sides. They need to kind of be even to rank advance, okay? Also, and this is kind of a lot to take in, but you also have a weak leg and a strong leg. For me, the way my coach placed me, my left leg is my strong leg. And what that means is that my upline coach is also adding coaches to this side. So all of you have a strong leg where me, if I'm your coach, or if Caitlin's your coach, she's also adding people to that side. So you're helping each other out on your strong leg, all right? Your weak leg, which for me happens to be my right. It might not be that way for you, and I can help you figure that out. But your weak leg, only you are adding to it. Your upline coach has nothing to do with this leg. Okay, so that's why it's called your weak leg. You're not going to be getting as much volume because nobody's helping you. And so you'll be placing coaches right and left to rank advance. But your volume really just matters with your customer base. Their orders are what gives you volume, and that's what gives you that cycle bonus, okay? And this can be, Beachbody is not a get-rich-quick thing. We have several coaches who are making a lot of money. Usually it's in year 3, 4, 5 that you're going to be making a nice chunk of change. Your first year, I really kept track of my spendings and earnings. Your first year, you might break even after your Shakeology, after your Energize, Recover, the stuff that you're ordering versus what you're making. It might break even. But then the next year, for me, my earnings doubled. And then the year after that, my earnings doubled again. And I'm hoping, my goal is to double myself again this year. And so you can see how if you're patient and you just do the things, that doubling yourself every year can lead to a really great end product. And the key for getting volume is to help your customers get started and help them stick with it. And that is a key. And the way to do that is a few fold. I'm going to go back to that actually. The key to helping them stick with it is really just serving them, keeping in touch with them, especially your new customers. A lot of you are adding challengers right now. I would get in touch with them weekly, see how they're doing, see how they're liking the products. You might send them, like if they ordered Shakeology, you might send them a sample of Energize just to try out because you love it. Or, if they're struggling, you're going to reach out. I really try to know what's going on in as many people's lives as I can. And eventually you get really big and you can't keep in touch with everybody all the time, which is kind of where I'm at right now. But that's when you learn to do email marketing and things like that. So I think the key is just really letting people know that you genuinely do care about them, which you do. Otherwise you wouldn't be in this business. All right, so knowing all that, your next steps are just to continue to, first of all, get a customer base. It all starts with that, okay? And once you have that customer base going for you, then you can start asking people if they want to coach with you. And when I am looking at new coaches, I'm looking for people who are super engaged in the groups, who are posting every day, or a lot of the time they're answering your call to action. Or if you're in my group, maybe they're responding to my calls to action really well. These are the people that you want on your team because they're in it, they're dedicated, and they're hard workers. And so those are the people that I approach, and I will say, hey, and like I approached all of you guys, hey, I love what you're doing in our group. I would love to work with you as a coach. Would you like to hear more? Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they say no. All of you have made me wait a while. Well, not all of you, but most of you made me wait and follow up again. So don't be afraid of that follow-up. But once you have someone who says, yes, I want to coach with you, that's exciting, and you should go Emerald that day. And here's why. you're going to put that person, your first new coach, on your strong leg. Okay, for me, it was my left. And again, I can help you find which leg is your strong leg. But you would place them on your strong leg. And then I would highly recommend, as would I think everybody, putting your husband, your spouse, your mom, your dad, somebody who you love and trust, especially a spouse, because you're going to be making money off of them. Put them on your weak leg. They'll be your next coach. You're going to sign them up. Andy had no idea he was a coach until after the fact. Okay, so it's not like they're running the business or doing anything. You know, they're just a placeholder for you to kind of have a second business center. And what this does is you're going to be generating volume from your husband's account or your mom's account or dad's account or best friend, whatever it is. And the volume that they create, you're making money from, and they're making money from it too. So it's almost like double dipping. And that's why majority of coaches do that, is because you're getting twice the usage out of the same amount of volume, if that makes sense. All right, so once you have a friend who signs up with you as a coach, you're going to sign up your spouse or your mom or your dad, your grandma, I don't care who it is, somebody who you trust, and they'll give you their permission. Once you're Emerald, really all it is just repeating that process. Adding in new customers every month, hopefully hitting Success Club, serving them, like giving them all the content that you have, recipes, motivational quotes, you're checking in with them. You're really making this process fun and enjoyable. You're helping them get results by giving them tips. All of that is going to amount to that know, like, and trust factor. They're going to know that you have their back, they trust you, and they really like you. And eventually people want to work with you. And also, don't be afraid to share the coaching process. That was my mistake. I was terrified to tell anyone I was a coach for so long. And finally, I got over that fear and I started sharing more about coaching. And my business has been taking off since then. So, I mean, even right from the beginning, you can share your process and just be honest and say, I am this new coach. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having fun helping people. And I would love to have you do this with me. And people will do it. If you're honest and if you're willing to help them, they'll join you. So some tips I have for you guys. The first one is just to serve. And that's the number one. And that's what's going to get you far in this business. And that's something that I strive to do more and more. I'm trying to get better at this all the time. Like I've said, check in with your customers, offer them that valuable support. Understand and empathize with them when they tell you, if you haven't seen their face for a week in your group, check in with them. And if they still don't go back to you, check in again and give them that support. Everybody falls off the wagon sometimes, but just let them know you're thinking about them. I have customers who have not posted in our group for a year, but they are renewing their challenge pack every single year because they love being part of that community. They're doing it when they can. Just because they're not posting doesn't necessarily mean they're not enjoying the process, okay? The second thing is to keep learning yourself. Do not stress that you don't know everything about this business. There is so much to know. And I remember just feeling very overwhelmed. I didn't know what my next steps should be. I didn't know. I wanted to be here and I was way back here, and what do I do? But don't stress yourself out, and instead just really focus on the tracker and just doing those things. Because I promise, if you're doing the things on the tracker, you will naturally start growing and you'll start figuring things out a day at a time. Really, all you need to do is focus on today. What do I need to do today? I need to post on social media. I need to invite people, and I need to work out, drink my Shakeology, and do my personal development. I need to work on myself. So if you're doing that right now, you're doing it right. And even once you get to Emerald, as you're edging closer to Diamond, it really is just serving others and continuing to learn yourself. One thing I would really suggest, and I've said it before, is for professional or personal development, whatever you feel your weakness is, that's the book you need to read. For me, about 6 months ago, I knew my goal is to go 2 or 3 star Diamond by Summit. So how do I lead my team to do this? Those are the books I was reading. John C. Maxwell, all the leadership books I could get my hand on, because that was my weakness. And so just continuing to learn, watching the national wake up calls, all those things. And the third thing is be a leader. And remember that you're the leader of your business. Like point blank, people are going to join Beachbody because of you. They can sign up with any coach with these workouts, but you're the one that they want to work with. And so recognize that, be confident in that. It can seem kind of weird at first, but you're the leader and they're going to follow your example. So, if you're posting every day, if you're showing lots of energy and excitement for what we're doing, if you're, like 10 rounds is coming up. I didn't used to buy the VIP stuff because I didn't want to waste more money. But you know what? I found that by doing the VIP stuff, the early programs like Bar Blend, the work, things like that, people really want to join you on these fun new things. They like to be the first one. So be the leader, just like go out on a limb and do it. And you're going to get your money back and then some, I promise. So, commenting on people's posts, all of these things that you do, your customers and other coaches are going to be watching you and they're going to like what they see and they're going to model what they do after what you do. So be the leader for sure. All right. What questions do you guys have? I'm going to unmute everybody. And again, this is in regards to like how to go to Emerald, anything that we've talked about. What is volume? Sometimes I forget some of the things that are confusing. And so if you need me to re-explain something, just let me know. Like a teacher at school, like just waiting. Can wait a long time, y'all. Any questions about any?
I won't have questions until it happens, and then it'll be 9 o'clock at night, and I'll be blowing up your phone.
That's how it goes. And you guys, and I'm so glad you said that. And everybody in here, Laura, I haven't, Caitlin's obviously your coach, but what I love about, Sherry, Caitlin, Courtney, is you guys ask me questions, and I love that because that means that you're wanting to know how this works, how to do things, and you're excited about it. So yeah, that's always okay, Courtney. I don't care what time it is. Well, I may not respond, but
Right.
I'll be excited. So yeah, I think, my upline is not very present. My actual upline quit, and then her upline has helped me, but not by much, I guess. And then so I really go from her way upline. And some people will tell you that, like, don't worry about rank. Put everything under your spouse's account or whoever you would include as your other side to your Emerald. But I started doing that. I just loaded everything onto Andy's side. I got him to Success Club first. I got him to Emerald, or he was almost to Diamond before I was. But to me, like, you're going to make more money that way. But to me, I just felt like rank isn't everything. Accolades aren't everything, but it is kind of fun. And it just made me feel good to know that I was advancing. My name was up on the leaderboards. When you hit Diamond, you're going to be shouted out in the National Wake Up Call. When you hit Emerald or Diamond, if you go to Summit, there's like huge posters with your name on it. Your name's going to be on the Jumbotron. Like, I don't know why that's exciting, but it is. And for me, like, my goal this year, 100%, is to help my coaches get to where I'm at, which is 1 star. Because gosh, you guys, LA was so fun. I learned so much, but it took time, right? 2.5 years. So don't feel like, I'm going to help you get there faster than I did, but don't feel like it's going to happen tomorrow. It does take time, and that's okay. And it can be really hard to let that time pass, but as long as you're inviting and doing the tracker stuff, you're going to get there. So yes. Anything else right now? Maybe later.
Can you move people from like one side to the other? Did you say that already?
No, great question. And no. Okay. And that, yeah, so it's like a guessing game. So an example is my own, and it's funny. So you try to place people based on what you know about them, right? And so I'll use Caitlin as an example. Caitlin's my biggest business builder, but she was so quiet in my group, and like, it's like, oh, you know, she just wants for the discount. I'll put her on Andy's, I think you're on his weak leg or whatever. And now she's blowing it up. And I'm like, if I would have just put her on this side, I would have been, you know. So it's just a total crapshoot. But I think in the end, it'll all even out. You know what I mean? Let's say you're placing people and somehow all of them are on your strong leg, and you have 2 people who are just, they hit diamond. You can only go, like, you have to be even. So right now, my weak leg is 1-star diamond because I got Andy to diamond, my husband. Okay. So let's say, Sherry, I think you're on that side with him, I think. Let's say Sherry gets to diamond, I would still be 1-star, even though 2 of my coaches are diamonds because they're on this side. Mm-hmm. But let's say that happened. Courtney, you're on my other side. If you hit diamond, then I would jump to 3-star diamond because I could have 2 on this side and 1 on this side. So while it's tough and you might be, you know, off for a while, eventually it will even out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question though. People can quit coaching, and switch, but they have to like stop coaching for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay. Well, you guys are all doing so great, and you know, I'm loving your social media posts. You're totally active in the group. So this is just the next step, the next thing to think about. And for some of you, it might happen tomorrow. For others, it might take 6 months. It really, everybody's going to go at a different pace. And especially your first year, you're going to have months where you're like at the peak of the mountain and months when you're at the base of the mountain feeling like, you know, like this is never going to work. But just keep plugging into PD, not only like our team calls, but, you know, listen to some of the top coaches. I remember there was one month, and I had hit Success Club, and then I got 0 people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was feeling so defeated. And then I watched a thing from Melanie Mitro, and she had the same experience. And I'm like, okay, she was at that time the #1 top coach. Like, if this happened to the #1 top coach, I'm just going to trust her. You know, she's telling me, don't give up, believe in yourself, trust the process, do your tracker, don't quit. And so if you just put your trust in the people who have been in this longer than you, like, things will work out. You just have to trust yourself and what they're telling you to do. So that's another key. All right. That's all I got for tonight. If you think of anything, let me know.
All right.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Sarah.
Let's get a picture. Wait, don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, I take one too.
Hold on. I got to make you guys big on my screen.
Are you ready?
I'm going to do my hair a little bit.
Stop. Just took a shower. All right, smile, guys.
Okay, we'll take one.
Okay.
Okay, my turn. I'll tag everybody too. I have this like weird lamp that you guys can't see in the background, so I gotta hide that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. We're all gonna light it. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.